Hi everyone. How are y'all doing on this Tuesday night? It's 75 degrees here in Oklahoma, and I'm bringing y'all a bonus video. I'm going to do a plan with me or a my calendar spread while we talk. So I am doing the I am movement. I have been asked to do the collab, and I agreed with it. So, my subject is managing health. I know there's quite a few other ladies doing this. So, this time around, I will um, tag the one, the who started it. And after that, I will know who everybody is. I'm still trying to get this, figured out. Anyhow, so um, on the managing health. Tonight, I'm going to do the intro to me and a little bit of quite a bit of my background. So, my thought is, I'm just letting y'all know ahead of time. So, if this is something you're not interested in, I understand and I won't hurt my feelings if you click out of the video. But if this is something that resounds with you, something that you feel like you can connect with, and maybe we can help each other out, then I would appreciate it if you would listen and, put your thoughts and comments down in the uh, in the comment section, and we can talk and get to know each other. So, uh, and then the next time I have my subjects I have thought about doing right now is that on hysterectomies, endometriosis, the PCOS, and infertility, domestic violence, diabetes, and fatty liver. So these are my subjects. And I was thinking that maybe in the comments, y'all could maybe vote on like number 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6 as to which subject you would like to hear next. If not, then I probably will go in this order, maybe. Just depends on how I feel or what I want to talk about that night. So I think I'm going to start doing these on Tuesday nights. And um, so it's a little bit off from the budgeting subject, but I think it's still a subject that, needs to be talked about. So anyhow, so I thought I would start tonight with the intro to me. And like I said, the next ones will be the hysterectomy and the endometriosis, PCOS, infertility, domestic violence, diabetes, and fatty liver. So, whichever one everyone gets the most vote, that may be the next one I do, and then kind of go from there. So, I will set that aside and we will get started. Uh, this is my pack that I got from Jordan Budget. So, and then I will be using some of the different pictures and stuff that I have picked from the different books to add to what I want to kind of match up or do. I'm doing a little different because I got a new book and a new calendar book. So these will have more of the days so I can jot down notes or what I give me more room to put what I've done that day or spent instead of trying to get it all crammed into the little boxes. So, with that said, let's go ahead and get started. So, um, I don't know if I think I've said before, but I will say again that um, I turned 51 in January. So, uh, let's see if this will work. I don't know. Anyhow, I turned 51 in January, and today is my oldest son's birthday. And I have to give a shout out to him. My oldest son turned 35 today. So yes, I was 16 years old when I gave birth to my son, and I had married my now ex-husband when I was 15 years old. So I had been married for 15 since I was 15 years old with him, and we didn't marry because we had to. I just when I was young, my mom was killed by a drunk driver in a car wreck, and my dad was young and didn't know what to do or how to handle it. So he left. He just left me and my brother and bounced back into our lives every when it fit his whim. And so my mom, because her mother had been killed in a car wreck, was raised in a orphanage, and when she was 16 or 17, um, my the grandparents who raised me, which were my foster grandparents, took her in. And the reason I say 15 or 16, because my mother did not know how old she really was, and neither did anyone else until I actually got a hold of her birth certificate. So she is a year older than what everyone thought she was. Anyhow, um, so when she died and my dad left, my grandma, that was my blood grandmother, didn't want me, and my uh, mom's foster parents did. So they raised me as their own. But like I said, my dad was in and out of my life, which made it hell. So by the time I was 15 and I had been bounced around so much, I was just like, I don't know, young, dumb, and stupid and wanted a place of my own. So I married him. And um, my son was left with cerebral palsy because the doctor didn't know how to perform a C-section and I needed one. And the doctor who could perform the C-section chose not to get up and get out of bed and come deliver him. So by the time they put the vacuum extract, which had been banned in Oklahoma for 20 years when he was born, when I went in to have him, they pulled it out of the closet, put it on wrong, and left him with cerebral palsy. That is the reason that it was banned, because it done a lot worse than that to a lot of babies. So anyhow, as the years went on and everything that happened, my ex-husband started drinking and using drugs, and it was just a mess. And during that time, I thought, I can fix this. I can help this. I can manage this. And somewhere along the way, I lost who I was. And in that, because of the malpractice, I had to hold my family together and pretend like that everything was okay because of the situation. And I'll be honest about it. I knew that the way things were, I would never, me and him would never be able to take care of my son the way he needed to be taken care of. So I chose to stay and sacrifice myself and, yeah, the other children. I managed to keep a lot of what happened with me and him away from the children until my kids were older. And so there was a lot of physical, mental, and sexual abuse that happened to me during that lifetime of marriage. And we, I managed it. And in that process, we had 6 children, which I would not give up for anything in the world. And like I said, I had suffered I had went through the endometriosis. Had um, I had my first baby, which was the one that's handicapped. I lost the baby between him and my next child, and then I had her, and I had her sister. Her and her sister are 17 months apart, and the rest of my kids are about 3 to 4 years apart to each other. And after I had my third child, we had decided to have another one. And I always thought, okay, well, things will get better, things will get better. And for a while they did. Things happened, and he got off everything and got sober, and I thought, okay, this will be all right. And then we found out that I had to take fertility to get pregnant with number 4 after everything that happened. And then after number 4 was born, we were told I would never be able to have any more children, which, to me, that was fine. I had 4 kids, and everything else. And then here come number 5, after being told that I would never have children again. So doctors don't always know what they're talking about. And then I had decided to divorce. I had had enough. I couldn't take any more. And he had a car wreck and decided he was going to change his life, because that was a very eye-opening experience. He was on life support. We were divorcing. In the state of Oklahoma, you can't get a divorce from someone who is on life support. So they canceled our divorce. So we did that. And got the wrong numbers. Whoops. See, that's what happens when I talk and try to do something. Sorry. Anyhow, so he seemed to be changing. I thought, okay, this time, this is it. And he did for a little while. And so the doctor, after the severe car wreck that he had, he damaged everything from the waist down, or, mid back down. And they told him he'd never have any more children. So yet again, I was like, whatever, because I had no plans on it. And number 6 comes along. So I have to say that the last 2 were my miracle babies, because they were just meant to be, because the circumstances we had lived in. So we had gotten back together. Everything was like that. And about the time she was a year old, he decided to go back to using again. And this time I had had enough. And he took off with my, I've put up with a lot. I did. But when he took off with my youngest son and made some threats towards him, I was done. That was it. Mama, this mama bear came out of me, and I'd had all I was going to take, and we were done. And I will never forget that day, because he, there were a lot of times in my life that I have to say there's, God or a higher power, a goddess, whatever you want to say, because there are definitely 3 distinct times in my life that I know I would have died had some intervention had not happened, because he had intended to kill me. He would have killed me. And when he threatened my son, I was done. And that last day we were fighting, and everything else was going on. And he came in, and, he was going to whatever. And he backed me into a corner and I looked him in the eyes and I said, I'm done. One of us is going out in a pine box and it ain't going to be me. And he tells me years later, he said that he knew from the look in my eyes that I wasn't joking anymore. And I said, you're right. I wasn't joking. I was done. So our 18-year marriage, which we were actually married 19 years because we waited, we had to wait. It took us a year to get the divorce. So anyhow, 19 years, and that's how that went. So after that, life just it did get better, although it left me with PTSD and all kinds of, I had severe anxiety, I had severe depression. So it is hard. And I had suffered with a lot of stuff and a lot of problems, a lot of female issues. And finally, the doctor said, okay, let's do a hysterectomy. And I was like, okay, let's do this. And she said, well, do you want everything out or do you want me to leave some in, your ovaries in so the hormones? And she said, but I'll tell you, the way they look, you'll probably be back here dealing with cancer. I said, take it all. I don't need it anymore. I don't need hormones, and I damn sure don't want to do this surgery again. Take it all while you're in there. So she did. And afterwards, she told me, she said, I don't know how you carried children, let alone uh, had 8 pregnancies, and 8 pregnancies, because I lost several, and with my 4th child, which I didn't say, he was triplets, and he's the only survivor of the triplets. So, but anyhow, she told me that my pelvis was turned wrong and that I not only should have never got pregnant, I should have never carried a baby to term. I should have never been able to carry a baby to term. And I said, well, sometimes that's how it is. When they're meant to be, they're meant to be. So, and that's where I'm at. That's how life went. That's where I have been through. I have gone through a lot, and that's why I, I can tell the stories on everything, which I will. That I'm just touching a little bit on that, but I will definitely get more into each of these subjects if you want to hear more. But I'm saying all this to let y'all know that I know where you're coming from. So if you don't have to suffer alone. So if you need somebody to reach out to, you need somebody to talk to, I can do that because I've been there. I've done that. I know. I know exactly what it's like to feel like you have nobody in this world that even knows, understands, uh, I have to say that I am thankful that I have a very best friend who has stuck through it with me through it all. I don't know where I'd be without her, and I'm extremely grateful for that. I don't know where I'd have been if it hadn't have been for my grandparents, because my grandmother stuck with me, and I would call her in the middle of the night and crying and having panic attacks, and she would just talk me through it. And she lived in Houston, and I lived here in Oklahoma. So, telling you, that takes definite, definite love. I have never felt more love from anybody in my life as I did that woman. And I am grateful. I'm definitely grateful for everything I have. I'm grateful for my children. and my son. I can explain more of my situation. I can talk about, um, how hard it is to be a caregiver of a child with disabilities, especially when they're a baby and you're going through everything. It's a major deal. So if you have any questions or you want to know anything, I'm an open book. I am a total open book. I have because I feel like everybody has a story, and I've always been interested in listening to everybody's story, and I feel like it helps. Someone has been there and done what needs to be done. So that is what my thoughts are. This is my self-care day because we're finally going to I'm taking my best friend. We're going to go do our stuff we didn't get to do for her birthday, and we're going to go do it this Thursday. So no matter what happens, we're going Thursday. So anyhow, I don't know. This video is probably already longer than I planned it to be. And I'm hoping that it made sense and that I didn't scatter everything everywhere, because it is hard to talk about and explain, and people don't understand unless they've been there. And if you've not been there, it is hard to understand. But I think that we all need to learn that even if you're not been there, that you can be there for somebody and be that person, someone that, might need you. You never know. I always tell my kids there's a reason for everything. There's a reason you went through a certain checkier's line, maybe at Walmart. There's a reason that you talk to someone on the street. You don't know what a difference you might be making in that person's life. Just saying hello might be enough. Maybe someone's having a really bad, rough day and you smile at them. That you never know what that does to help somebody. But I can tell you, I've been there and I've done that. And I have definitely, I definitely can relate to a lot of things, because I just, I have lived a very long life. My grandfather used to tell me that he never understood how I made it where I made it, because he said most sane people would never had made it through what you've gone through in such a short period of time. So, that's the way things go, though. Sometimes you got to just keep going. And I have learned a lot from that little boy who turned 31 today, that, things are the way things are. And you learn to forgive when you see someone. I have to say that of all my children, he's always been the happy go lucky. Didn't care, nothing bothered him, nothing fazed him. I would have said, let's get up, we gotta go. Okay, let's go. So, I mean, his speech is different than everyone else's because he does have trouble with speech, but if you listen, you can understand him. So, I'm just, there's a lot, and you just have to look at, sometimes there's, other things you just have to think about and know that everything's going to be okay, So, anyhow, I will go ahead and go. I will finish this offline because, like I said, I think this has been the longest video. I'm not sure if the next video I do on this subject line, if I will be doing something, or if y'all would prefer me to be looking into the camera. So y'all can put that down too. So, but anyhow, I want to thank you for listening if you're still here and, listen to ramblings of an old woman. And, that's how I feel. I feel like sometimes I feel like I've lived 2 lifetimes and everything that's ever happened. So, anyhow, leave your comments down below, please, if you have any. If you want to reach out to me, my email address is in the description box, along with my P.O. box. And if you haven't subscribed, please do. If this isn't your cup of tea, I do my on Thursdays is my binder stuff day, or my wallet, where I stuff my wallet. Friday is my game day, and Sunday is what Sunday, where I go over what the heck I've done all week long and wonder where I've spent all the money. So if any of that interests you, please like, comment, and subscribe. I would love to have you join my family, and I would love to help you. And if you, like I said, need a friend, here I am. So I will let you all go, and I will talk to you all in the comments below. I will see you on Thursday for Thursday wallet, and I will see y'all on game night, Friday night. Woo woo! I'm excited. That's my favorite game night of the week is Friday game night. So I need to get something that says game night, game night, game night, game night, game night, because those are my favorites. Anyhow, good night. Have a great rest of your week.